I don't know why I do this before I start a stream, but I do. So deal with it, I guess. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. So, boy, this has been a week. Didn't get to stream on Tuesday. Or, no, I streamed on Tuesday. I didn't get to stream on Thursday. I have website problems. Getting ready for HeroesCon. It has been a week. So the plan is first for me to get some music playing for myself. Alright, and then to get some commissions finished. This particular piece I was commissioned to do. It's going to be a print that's going to be sold at HeroesCon. I did not do the pencils of this piece. I did not I didn't do the pose or the composition or the pencil art. But I did ink it, and I am coloring it. That's what I was hired to do. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. You can see I've already have the flat colors in here. Here's the flats. And I'm starting to render the shadows and the highlights and the reflected light, all that fun stuff. So that's what we're working on now. So in fact, specifically what we're doing right now is we're putting in the you see the blue reflected light that's in the shadows. We're putting that in all the shadow work now. So you can see I already got the arm done, a little bit in the chest. So let's put in the stomach here. Hey, Sideways, welcome. So the key here when you're doing your reflected light is you want to show that light is kind of bouncing around. It kind of helps with the depth of the piece. But you don't want it to be too much, too overpowering, or else you're going to undermine the shadows themselves. So my goal today is to get as many commissions done as I can. I have like 3 pieces that are in a state of almost done. I have this piece, then I have this piece here. You guys probably saw this last couple streams. And then I have this piece. So my goal is to try to get as many of these done on stream as possible. And if I can't get it done on stream, I'm just going to do it off stream. So I might not be chatting a ton, but that doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you guys. I will happily answer your questions. Or just chat with you. They don't have to be questions if you just want to just get my opinion on things and just talk to me. I would happily do that. So just because I'm being kind of quiet, focusing on the art, does not mean that I don't want to talk to you guys. So feel free to chat me up. So the reason it's important to have kind of reflected light in here, now, I should also say this is a little different than how I normally do things. usually the reflected light is based on the surroundings of the character. If they're around a lot of pink or reddish things, the reflected light would be a more pinkish red. If they're around a lot of green things, the reflected color would be green. It really just depends on their surroundings. What kind of light, what color are the objects around them? So what color is the light that's bouncing off of those objects and reflecting into the shadows of our main character? So since our main character here doesn't really have any surroundings, this is kind of a pinup, I have to kind of just make up a reflected color, which isn't a big problem, or it's not a problem at all, really. I just need to make sure I pick a color that fits with the color palette. And since everything is kind of on the bluish side of things, that's why I picked a bluish reflected color. So how's everyone's Saturday going so far? It's rainy and gloomy where I'm at today. So far. So it's a little bit tough, the highlights here, because I don't want to give, it doesn't look like her suit is particularly shiny, so I don't want to be too sharp in the contrast. Or maybe I do. Let's find out. So I think what I'm going to do here is start with just an airbrush, like a light color, nearly white. Just kind of hit where I think the highlights should be. That to bleed into the face a little bit, so I'm going to be a little more specific in my selection. Yeah, it's pouring over where you are, sideways. The good thing about weather like this is that it makes it really easy to, really easy to sleep. It's nice to sleep in when it's all gloomy and stuff. The bad thing is it's really easy to sleep. I got a lot of stuff to do. I can't sleep late, but I did today. So that looks pretty good. Yeah. I definitely slept later than I wanted to today. I was kicking myself because I wanted to stay in bed even longer. When I was waking up, it's like, oh, it's really nice. It's gloomy and rainy, and I had to force myself up. Alright. So I hit with the airbrush where I wanted the highlights to be, and I think this looks pretty good, if I'm going to be honest. But I'm going to take my hard brush or pen tool and kind of do some hard highlights and just see how that looks. I might end up undoing it, but let's find out here. So I don't think I want it to look too shiny. Actually, I don't think that's good enough that at all. Here we go. But I do want to give the impression that her outfit is more white than gray. Just generally, it's a good rule of thumb to not use pure white if you can help it. Just because there's nowhere to go from pure white. Like, white is the brightest color, or white's not really a color, but like, but since it's the lightest you can use, there's nowhere to go from it. It's either everything has to be darker than white. So it's not really a good color to use because you want to be able to go in both directions. You want to be able to go lighter and darker. So what are you thinking so far, Sideways? Am I doing this character justice? All right, highlights. Highlights are good then. I'll keep on going. So I think the major white highlights are done here. So might still go back and add some more. So since this back leg and the lower calf here, they're kind of in shadow, I don't want to use a pure white on there. That definitely would be too bright. So I'm going to switch back to I don't want too blue. I do want to pull out that. I'm going to add in the highlights. Shadows like this. Coloring this character, it's a little bit on the easier side, only because she has this white bodysuit, so I don't have to really think too hard on color theory side of things. Since it's all practically the same color, I don't really have to make a lot of color choices. At least when it comes to like highlights and shadows, I can pretty much just pick what the highlight color is going to be, the shadow color is going to be, and it's going to work for most of her body because she's wearing practically the same color for the whole entire body. change things up when I get to like the pouches and her skin and her hair, even a little bit with her sword, but that's such a small percentage compared to the rest of her body. I think that's looking all right. So what do you guys think? How white should her costume be? Now, I know that might not seem like it's kind of an arbitrary question, but what I mean is, so her suit is all white, and I inked all of this in black. So I'm wondering if I should maybe do some line holds to make the black lines less black and make her suit look more white. You know what? Great thing about working digitally is I can always give it a try, and we can just see what it looks like. And if it stinks, I could always hit undo. I'm gonna add in a couple highlights real quick though. Reflected light in her fingers here. Nice choice for the background color. Glad you like it. I know we were talking yesterday a little bit about the colors. Decided since we're going to have a lot of... there's already a lot of blues, we'll go with the blue background. Kind of keep the color palette in the blue range. Alright, so let's do a line hold here. Just see what the suit looks like if we change the black to like a medium gray maybe. idea here is your suit's supposed to be white, so I'm gonna soften up the lines on here to make the suit look a little more white. I'm keeping the outline black for now. I don't see any reason to outline to change the outlines, but it could change. We'll see. Softens up her suit just a tad. So I'm going to pick a darker gray here for the shadowy parts. I think that looks better. Let's see, let's compare. So we have the original black line art, and then the line holds to kind of soften up her suit a little. So we have A or B, A or B, A or B. What do you guys think? What's your opinion? Give it a save first too before we go too far. Get a drink of coffee, 'cause boy, I need it. I think I like the lighter colors too. See, the great thing of doing it this way is I can always undo it. So if once I get the hair and the face rendered, if I feel like the white's not really doing it, I can always undo it and go back to the original. So it takes a little bit of the stress off, not knowing that that my decisions don't have to be final. Alright, so let's do these belts and pouches here. And our hair a little bit. It's all about the same color. Oops. So if I'm on the right color. Or layer. Helps if I say the right words. Hey. So is anyone else going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina next week for HeroesCon? Heck yeah. That's always a good time, HeroesCon. So I was thinking about what to do for my other emote for you guys who subscribe. I was thinking, what if I did just like a close-up on my face, just like got really close, you know, something like that that's really attractive, and just made that an emote, so everyone can just spam the chat with my wonderfully stupid-looking face. Yes. Decided to spam the chat with my stupid looking face. I'm gonna put highlights in those pouches, but first let's the rest of the belts here. That's gonna be about the same color, so let's do that. So I'm still trying to figure out this streaming thing. I've been doing this for a couple months now, and I feel like I still have so much more to learn. So if you guys ever have any suggestions for what I should stream, how I should stream, like little fun things I could do to help the stream be more enjoyable, more fun, I always want to hear that. Because like I said, yeah, I've been doing this for a couple months, but I still feel like I know nothing about this. I'm just kind of go live and I draw some stuff and I hope for the best. But if you guys ever have any suggestions, requests, like if you're like, oh, we should take a break in the halfway point and just do a Shono dance party, you know, I'll take it into consideration. I don't think anyone would want to see that, but that's not the point. That's too sharp. I'm going to take our blending tool here. Soften that up a little bit. Oh, the Golden Age comic reading idea. I've been taking a poll to see what comic characters people would like. I actually got a pretty good one. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so my favorite suggestions I've gotten so far has been both the Golden Age and Silver Age Blue Beetle, specifically the Charlton Comics ones. Although the Golden Age, he started with another company. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll have to research that. But anyway, so the Golden Age and Silver Age, Blue Beetle. Then I got Captain Marvel, who later is known as Shazam. Specifically the Fawcett versions of those, because anything done with DC would be copyrighted. And then let's see, Plastic Man. I totally forgot Plastic Man started as another company's character. So yeah, Plastic Man is the original Plastic Man comics are in the public domain. Phantom Lady, that's my next best suggestion. I honestly don't know very much about Phantom Lady. I know she was a Charlton character. I genuinely don't know much about her, so I'll have to do a little research. Or maybe I'll do no research. That'll make reading the comics so much more fun. Going into it knowing nothing. And then the last one I have on my list is Doll Man. So I got some good suggestions. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out the logistics of like, because I think it'd be fun if while I'm reading it, if I was able to kind of do a guided view sort of thing, kind of like what you'd see with like Comixology or something as I read through them. I think that would make it visually interesting. While I read, because I think of just having a static page up on the screen while I just read what the word balloons said would be incredibly boring, and no one would want that. So if I had something a little visually interesting, if I tried to do some voices, I am very bad at doing voices, so that might be entertaining in its own right. But I was also toying with the idea of maybe this would be a little bit more intensive labor-wise, doing limited animation of the panels. Like, since they're in the public domain, those pages, I can pretty much do what I want with them. So I figured maybe chop them up, animate them a little bit, create like, what do they call them? Like a motion comic of it, so to speak. Do some voices. Now, of course, that would be a higher production value and not really something I can do live, but it might be something I debut here on Twitch, like maybe every Wednesday. Like, I don't want to make any promises until I know what I'm doing, but hypothetically speaking, like every Wednesday would be a debut of the next adventure of Blue Beetle, and then I'll have myself and Lily and whoever else would want to lend their voice to it. We can do a little recording session and have that kind of be a thing. The guided view has totally spoiled you for reading comics. I do have to say, the great thing about Comixology's guided view is that it really prevents you from getting spoiled. Because who hasn't, when they're reading a comic book, flipped a page and then looked on the facing page before they read the page on the left, and then you're kind of like, oh, I know what's going to happen before I read it. The guided view stops you from doing that. It shows you one panel at a time. I know how to talk. Small mistake. And the only problem with animation is I'm going to have to really find a way to really streamline that process. I cannot spend, weeks and weeks on one animation, because if I'm going to do it, I want it to be like a weekly thing. And if it takes me weeks to do, that's not gonna pan out. That's gonna be too much work for too little payoff, I guess. Unless I can recruit an army of volunteers to cut up the artwork for me. So all I have to do is worry about the animation. But I don't think I'll be able to find people that'll want to work for free, essentially. Nor should they. Doing work they should be compensated for it. But I am a poor man and cannot afford to pay anyone. So that's why I've had to learn how to do everything myself. Website design, drawing, graphic design, writing. Can't afford to hire anyone, so gotta do it myself. Okay, I think that's looking good. Now, part of me is worried since I've made the suit, all the lines on the suit, kind of this dark gray, that the black is too sharp against it. I'm afraid if I soften it, it'll be too much gray. We're gonna leave it for now. Hire some second. This is terribly unethical, but maybe I'll just have my students do it, make it a project. Alright, kids. In class, we're gonna help Mr. Sean out. We're gonna use Photoshop to cut up this artwork for him. Alright, here we go. That would be awful if I did that. Mommy, Daddy, Mr. Sean taught us how to use Photoshop so he can do his projects. Oh, man. Yes. No, I can't do that. Awful or extremely productive? I mean, both, I guess. Be incredibly productive, but it'd be horribly unethical. We're almost done with this one, I think. We gotta finish the hair, do her glasses, the sword, and her face. And her face is mostly covered up by the glasses, so that won't be too tough, I don't think. What are your guys' thoughts? Is this coming along? now's the time for me to be shameless in my self-promoting. Because I've been streaming like an hour. You know, Twitch says, you should remind people to follow you every hour. So it's been an hour, so I'm going to remind you guys. If you've been enjoying my art, enjoy me. Don't forget to follow. If you really like me, you can always subscribe, or donate, or cheer some bits. I actually got my first bit cheer recently. Walker Maxium. Thank you, Walker, for those bits. So, I did this the first month I started streaming. I haven't done it since. And it's probably not going to be next week, because next week I have to get ready for HeroesCon. Let's see here. Amazing. Will you be able to show the details you found in the braids? Do you want to color her belt buckle? Get to color in the cracks. Yep. So, oh, the belt buckle on her waist. Yeah, I did forget to color that. We'll get that covered in a sec. So we're doing her braids now. We'll definitely get the face here taken care of in a little bit. Just have to do all the lighting and the shading on her face. Then we'll do all the special effects. What was I saying? What I was saying before. So next week I probably won't have any streams just because I'll be gone for HeroesCon. I'll be getting ready for HeroesCon and then actually gone for HeroesCon. Might do some reruns. Although I don't think people like the reruns as much. The last 2 times I've done reruns, I've lost followers. So maybe I don't want to do reruns anymore. Anyway, I don't know what that's all about. If it's because it stinks, or if they were going to unfollow anyway. It doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, my point is, no streams next week. But the week after that, I was thinking about doing another critique tutorial Tuesday. What do you guys think about that? Oh yeah. I'll get to that, Spike. No worries. some of my music. So save. Turn on some music for myself. Horse the Band. Not Band of Horses. Horse the Band. Oh, it's all right that I lost followers. That happens. People follow. People. Turns out they don't like what you were making. They unfollow. It's fine. It's the nature of things. Not everything's for everyone. But anyway, I have thought about recording some stuff and then broadcasting it. It just takes a little bit of time. I mean, this is the last time I'm going to be out for a con for a little while, so it's not really a pressing issue. That would be one thing I could do if I figure out how to do a fast version of the animation for the Golden Age comics. I can just debut those, and I can do them live too. So well, I mean, I can do the debut, but then I can be there live, so I can still like talk to you guys in the chat while it debuts. Braid, we got our spike at the end of the braid. I'm going to do the sunglasses and face next. So I'll send out a call on social media like Twitter, Tumblr. If anyone's on Tumblr, I'm still kind of on Tumblr. But I'll send out a call for that on social media, looking for artwork that you guys want me to critique. It won't be next week. It won't be the week after that because I'll be getting back from HeroesCon. And I won't have enough time to gather the artwork up to critique. Plus I'll probably be exhausted. So it'll probably be 3 weeks from now we'll do the critique stream. It's not quite working for me. Let's see. Dark sunglasses, so I'm gonna kind of bring in the dark shade here. What do you guys think about those sunglasses? No, I kind of don't like them. Actually, let's start this over here. I'm going to start with a darker color. I like that better. What are your thoughts? Alright. So his glasses are a little on the purpley side. Looks a little bit like what are those glasses? Ray-Bans? I don't know. I think it definitely looks better, but I don't know if maybe the color's too saturated. Should I maybe dull the color a little? Make them look a little gray. Or grayer. I don't want them totally gray. Let's make an edit here. Let's see. Transform. I always forget how to do this stuff in Clip Studio. This is Photoshop, it'd take me like 2 seconds. Oh, there we go, correction. Saturation. Let's bring down saturation a little bit. I think that looks better. We'll go with that for now. Let's do her face. So we have the light kind of coming from the upper right hand, or I'm sorry, upper left hand corner. So let's start with what's definitely going to be pretty distinct shadows going to be underneath the eyes here. Even without the lighting, the sunglasses themselves are going to cast a shadow. Since we're doing skin, we don't want to do like a grayish purple. That's going to make her look a little dead. So we want to warm up the shadow tone, saturate it a little bit more. Right now that makes her look ridiculous, but it'll look better as we go here. Let's add because of the shape of her nose, I can't flatten it out like that, so I gotta take into account the roundness of her nose here. There we go. Much better. Her nose is going to cast a shadow itself. Shadow boat under her eyes suddenly don't look as silly. They'll better as I get these details fleshed out. So how are we doing? I've been cruising along. I've been drinking some coffee. It's a gloomy day, at least where I'm at. I hope it's nicer where you're at. Let's get shadow from the bangs done here. Always helps to be on the right layer. Cheekbones done here. It's looking pretty good. I think I made her cheekbones just a little too strong, so I'm going to blend that out a little bit. So we're going to do the lips and then some special effects around her eyes. Hey, welcome! Thank you, I'm glad you're enjoying the art. Let's see, Multiramus. Hey, and thanks for following. I appreciate the follow. You even send me a note. Alright, I'll check it out after the stream. lips. Squeeze the lips. So, I'm getting close to the, being done with this piece, and I'll let you guys decide what I do next. So, once this piece is done, we have, well, it should be more specific. Once the coloring of this piece is done, there's still one other thing. Part of this commission was not only to ink and color this piece, but also to create a black and white version of it. And so what I need to also do, once I'm done with all the colors, I need to go in and create basically like a manga gray tone version of it. So if you guys want to watch me do that, I can do that after I'm done with the colors, or when I'm all done with the colors, I can move on to this piece. Do my best to try to finish this, and then, or option 3 is to finish coloring this piece. So think about it. Let me know in the chat what you'd want to do. If you want to vote in the chat with bits, that's a good way to make sure that I see your decision, or your vote, I guess I should say. All great pieces. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'll let you guys decide what I do after. There's not too much left to do here. I need to finish the face up, just a couple details there. I need to put some special effects on her face, kind of like a lightning effect, and then the sword. So that shouldn't take me too much longer. Then we can apply manga tones to this, the line art to this piece. Or I can finish coloring those other pieces, so I'll let you guys decide. Do you think I can repeat myself a few more times? I'm so bad at this. I'm surprised I have any followers. couple highlights in the skin. I always have a tough time with highlights in the skin. If you go too far, they look plasticky. If you don't go far enough, they look kind of flat. So I always have a tough time. I find minimizing the hard lines help, at least with the face. There are some places where it's going to hit a hard edge. This is too hard of an edge here, so I'm going to blend this out just a little bit. Might be a little too strong. So I think I added some little highlight on her cheek to kind of bring out that structure on her face, but I think it makes the bottom of her face look a little too gray. So I think what I'm going to do... this side a little bit. I don't know, what do you guys think? How's her face looking? While I wait for you guys to respond, I'll do something that I know I need to do here. I need to put in that reflected color on her shadow side of her face. You're liking it? Alright. I guess let's zoom out for a sec so we can see it as a whole. Alright, so I think, looking at how I shaded her cheekbone, the shading is correct, but I think it makes her face look too gray. So I think what I'm going to do here is re-lasso that section. And I'm gonna put a reddish tint in there. I don't want to go too hard because I don't want it to look like she went crazy with blush. Just a touch to keep that from looking too gray. Close. Don't worry, the shading isn't going to take that whole shape. I just need to make sure there's no weird hard edges, so I need to envelop that whole area. I think that looks better. I think that looks less gray. Alright, I think I pulled this off. What are your thoughts? And while I get that opinion in, let's add some special effects here. Well, technically there, you spelled gray right both times. With the E is the British way of spelling it. Or I guess maybe more accurately, the Commonwealth way of spelling it. The A way, A is the American way of spelling gray. It's like spelling color C-O-L-O-R or O-U-R. You know what? We're going to do the electric effects out of her eyes last, because I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. I'm not quite sure if I just want to put a glow on the outside of it, or if I want to actually do like a photoshopped effect. I don't know yet. I'll have to think on it. Man, this stream is educational on so many levels. I'm glad I can educate. know, I get into arguments with my Canadian friends because the Canadians they take the British way of spelling things, and so whenever they spell color with an OU, I always make fun of them a little bit. You don't need that extra U. It's needless letters. You don't need that U. Color. It's perfect. Alright, how do I want to do this sword? This sword looks so weird, doesn't it? With its flat colors next to the rendered background, or a rendered main character. Actually, let's do what I like to do. Once I finish coloring certain sections, I like to compare it to the flat version. So here we got rendered and then flats. Rendered, flats. Rendered, flats. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Alright, let's stop messing around. Yeah. Same thing with like armor with the OUR. Just needless letters. Ain't no one got time for those extra letters. Did you guys hear that? I don't know how good my microphone is. My elbow just popped. Night and day, amazing, awesome. Glad it's looking good. Hope this print sells billions of copies. Everyone in the world buys one, and then they buy a second one. So 14 billion. So, what do you guys think about the blood on the sword? The dilemma I'm having is, like, I think it looks great the way it is. I mean, I still need to obviously put in the shade and the highlights, but I'm not sure if I want to add kind of like a splatter around it. I'm not. Right now, everything looks pretty clean and sharp. I'm not sure if adding like a blood splatter will work against this piece. I'm a sucker for like a lot of grit added to art, a lot of texture and stuff. But sometimes it works against your art, and I obviously don't want that to happen. I guess I can just do it on the new layer and just see what happens. Be whiter. I could use like a straight line tool to really put in this highlight nice and straight and perfect. But I think this sword's going to look cool if there's a little bit of an unevenness to it. Make it look a little more worn, a little more gritty, if you will. Like it's stabbed more than just one person. It's seen some battles here. Alright, I think we just need to do the blood, and then the electrical effects around the eyes, and then this is done. Yeah, hold on. I never know. It's on the floor back there. Oh, I'll go look at that later. I need some more coffee soon. Alright. Blood and eyes. That sounds like a good movie, a book, a comic, video game, band name, Blood and Eyes. It's gonna be the name of my new death metal band. So I want to make the blood where like the rest of this costume is kind of shiny, but more of a matte tone. I want the blood here to look wet and shiny. So I'm gonna have very little gradients here. I'm just gonna do just a lot of hard lines. That's totally a metal name. Yeah. I think so. Alright, so I'm going to do a line hold on the blood. So it's not a hard line there. Or, I'm sorry, black line. The line's not going to change softness or hardness. Bloody tip sword. It's alright, the sword stands out like that. Alright, so let's do the electricity around the eyes and then we'll call this piece done. What are your guys' thoughts? How do I want to do this? Alright, let's start with the obvious. Just get light blue. Just draw. think we got this. Good, I'm very happy you like the colors. Alright, so with these lightning effects, I wanna finish them in Photoshop, but I don't feel like loading Photoshop and moving it all over right now on stream, so I'm gonna do that off stream. But that said, in general, this is going to be what the lightning effects look like. Just I'm going to make them look a little bit more glowy, so they look like electricity. What are your guys' thoughts? Just on the, obviously it doesn't look like lightning right now. It just looks like, doesn't look like it's glowing. But this is the, I guess you can say the composition that the lightning effects are going to take. So what are your thoughts on that? If you're cool with how these effects are manifesting, I'll finish them in Photoshop, and we can move on to something else. So what's everyone's thoughts? It is a different layer, so I can make any adjustments I need to without affecting the main piece. And while I wait for some feedback, let's flip back and forth. So we got fully rendered, flats, rendered, flats, rendered, flats, rendered, flats, rendered, flats. Hey, that's the original pencils there. All right. I don't think we need to see the cracks. I mean, I followed the cracks on the face anyway, and just have it kind of pouring from the cracks on the face. So, all right. Like I said, I'm gonna call this done. Or at least mostly done. 99.9% done. Once I'm done with the stream, I'm going to go over to Photoshop and finish off the lightning effects. So I'm going to leave it to you guys right now. Do you want me to A, work on Sasha versus Dr. Teal, B, work on Victoria, the Lightning Princess? I feel like there's more to her name, but we'll just go with that. Or C, do you want me to add the gray manga-like tones to this piece? Vote now in the chat! Am I awkward? Is this not the thing to do? Finger guns, right? Anyway. So, yeah, let me know in the chat real quick. Should I do the black and white version of this piece? Work on the colors on this piece. As you can see, all the flats are in. I just need to render it out. And same thing with this piece. The flats are all in there. I just need to finish rendering it. So let me know in the chat what you would like. And I've been doing this for 2 hours, so I'll take the time while you guys... Option B. What's option B? Is this option B? I already forget what my options were. Whoop. The lady on the horse, on the Pegasus. Okay, so we got one vote for Victoria the Lightning Princess. Alright, so 2 votes for the Pegasus. Any other votes? And while I wait for any last votes to come in, I'm just going to be shameless. Just say, if you guys have been enjoying my art, and if you haven't already, give me a follow. Subscribe if you really like my work. If you really, really like my work, you can donate. And I feel like there's other things I should tell you to do. I got like a Patreon and stuff, if that's your bag. Alright, I don't see any other votes, so Pegasus it is. Where did I leave off with her? Looks like we got her armor done. We got some highlights. So it looks like I have to do the lower part of her armor, her lance, and then Pegasus itself. So let's get going on that. I gotta totally switch my brain now because I was thinking of a certain color palette with this piece, and with this color, this piece done, and this piece having a completely different color palette. Not completely different, but pretty different. I have to now switch my brain over to what colors are appropriate for this piece. So how is everyone doing today? I've asked this a few times, but we got different people watching. Is Saturday today? Is this Saturday gloomy for you guys too? Because it is gloomy and rainy for me. You're welcome. So the key here is to really get the textures down, because we have, you know, the texture of the cloth that's underneath the armor, which is obviously, generally speaking, a duller tone, because, you know, cloth doesn't really absorb. I'm sorry, light absorb. I maybe need to take a break because words are not coming out of my mouth right. Cloth absorbs light more and reflects less of it, where armor reflects more of the light, so one is going to look much shinier than the other. So it's important, and I'm coloring here to try to get those textures to look right. So one looks like cloth and the other one looks like shiny metal. Now, those of you guys who watched me start coloring this a couple weeks ago, man, was it a couple weeks ago? I hope not. Oh, this person hasn't been waiting that long. Anyway, you might notice if I zoom in real close, the lines are not black. They're this dark blue. I did that to kind of soften up the piece a little bit. I wanted it to look a little more painterly. I'm not going for a full painted look, but you know, with the bluish greenish lines, it looks just softer. And with those softer lines, the piece as a whole will look more painterly. So as always, guys, I mentioned this at the beginning, but always feel free to ask any questions. Or just chat to me in general. You know, it doesn't have to be art related. If you just want to talk about a movie you just saw and you thought was cool. I know probably a lot of you just put me on in the background. And that's okay too. I just don't want you guys to feel like you can't ask questions if you haven't while I'm drawing here. If you want to know why I'm doing something, or how I'm doing something, or the thought behind any of my process, why I made a choice that I did, yeah, go ahead and ask. I'll happily answer. So to those of you guys who are just joining me, any of you guys going to Charlotte next week for HeroesCon? If you are, be sure to come visit. Alright, I'm doing fine. You're looking good. And my music's gone. Let's listen to... Let's listen to some Thursday. I'm trying to remember how I did this armor. I want to keep it consistent. Alright, I think. Whoops. Helps if I'm on the right layer. So it looks like... think I'm going to call her done. I still have to do her lance and obviously the Pegasus. I think I'm going to call her done. What do you guys think? Thanks for stopping by, Green Count. Have a great day. Let's get her lance done. It's the same. Yeah, let's do my favorite thing. Let's go between the flats and the... There's the flats. There's the fully rendered. Flats, rendered. Flats, rendered. I think that looks pretty good. I'm always open to suggestions, though, if you guys agree or disagree. Sometimes my tablet's shift button doesn't want to read that it picked it up, and then I end up lassoing a whole bunch of stuff and lost what I lassoed earlier. It's a pain in the neck. little bit of texture here. Don't want it to look like just a smooth lighting area. Go in here. Make it feel like the light and shadow aren't just moving uniformly across the staff. And then we'll add a little bit of highlights in here. And a little bit of reflected light in here. What a difference that makes, huh? Like, look how flat that looks, and then how it really feels like it's coming at us now. So I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to finish this lance off, and then I think I'm going to call it a day, at least streaming wise. And then at the very least I'm going to go eat something. I might get back on. I'm not sure. Probably not, honestly. If you guys want to see me get back online, I will. Otherwise, I'll just keep on working privately. It's like magic or something. Yeah. I know I've mentioned it on several other streams, but I hate putting in the flat colors, but I love rendering the colors. Because it's so boring, and honestly, I feel like the flat colors look bad. Not that in general flat colors look bad. There are a lot of great artists that work in flat colors, and their art looks fantastic. Flat colors look bad on my art, so I hate doing the flatting stage just because it looks so boring. It looks so flat. So putting in the rendering, that part I enjoy a lot. I like bringing it to life, making it look 3D. One of these days, I'll be able to hire an artist to be my digital flatter. So I can just hand off all my art to them, they'll send me back the flats, and then I can just render the art. But that's not going to happen for a little while. Because I'm poor. You're down for another stream? Alright, well, once I finish this, I'm going to take a short break. I got to get some food. And then, I don't know. I'll post on Twitter and my other various social media groups if I decide to go back on. So if you're not already following me on that stuff, go ahead and do that. I'll let you know if I stream again. I know there's no pressure. But it's also what you guys want. You know, I stream for you guys. I don't stream for myself. Like, I have to do this anyway. I have to work on this art regardless if I'm streaming or not. So, just question if you guys want to see it. If you find me interesting enough to want to watch. Reflected edges on here, and then we can call this done. Mostly. Almost there. I feel like this needs to be. It's much better. Alright. So just two small things, and we can call this a stream. I mean, it's already a stream, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So then we're gonna actually, because this is kind of like a ribbon, I want to give it a little bit of a texture. I'm going to use my charcoal brush as kind of like in lieu of the airbrush tool. See what that looks like in just a second. So it still gives me kind of a gradient. Alright. Flats, rendered. Flats, rendered. Flats, rendered. What do you guys think? Can I call this done, or at least call her done? Obviously still have to do the Pegasus. Let's save this before I lose it. Always save your work. Alright guys, unless someone comes in with a glaring error that I need to fix, that I'm totally overlooking, I think I'm going to call this done. Actually, I do see a small one. I probably could leave that yellow in there a little bit, because the metal's shiny and the yellow would reflect. But not yet. Anyway. This is a colorful page, isn't it? Alright guys, I want to say a huge thank you. I gotta put my pen away. Hold on. Okay. I want to say a big thank you, guys, to everyone that's watched today. It means a lot to me. I want to thank everyone that's followed. If you haven't followed yet and you're new here, please do. Same thing with subscribing. You can become a patron. All that stuff helps me make more artwork, and that really means a lot to me, especially during the summer months. Summer months, things get pretty tight. I get less students, just a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're in a position where you can help me and my art grow, please consider donating, becoming a patron, subscribing, all that stuff. And my next stream is going to be Tuesday. No, wait. Today's Saturday. Oh man, I don't even know what day it is. So no streams next week because I'm going to be getting ready to go to HeroesCon. If you're going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina, please visit me in Charlotte at HeroesCon. I'm going to be at table 326. So take a look for me. Look at my comics, my art. Commission me to draw something for you. I'll be there. Let's see. And so my next stream will be not this coming Tuesday, the next Tuesday. And I think that's it. I think that's all the things I have to say goodbye. Usually, one of these days I'm going to get like a list that put like over here and kind of remind myself of things I got to say so I don't ramble like an idiot at the end here. You know, be a professional or something. What's that? I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to switch over here to my outro and read the names of the patrons. You guys are awesome. Uh, Again, you help keep the lights on. So big thanks to Angers McBeard, Anthony DeSimo, Brian Gilbert, Brooke Clayton, Charles Pinn, DevDuck01, Elizabeth, Lawrence Winston, Lily Avonlea, Red Blaze, Matt Powell, MC McClure, QUWYKXZ, Seth Talley, Shadowmacer, Taylor Winesti, Tony T. Timonen, Zeriel Chickadee, and Doug Hogan. You guys are the best, and I seriously can't thank you enough. And I will hopefully see you guys in Charlotte. But if not, I'll see you in a couple Tuesdays. Bye, everyone. Thanks.